Many assume that hand signs are nothing more than symbolic gestures. Yet physiologically and energetically, some of the most familiar positions of the human hand operate with startling efficiency as functional instruments. Anatomical tools formed to engage deep muscle tissues, access sensitive energy centers or points of tension, empower the bioelectromagnetic nervous system, and awaken the inner flame that some of the most secretive ancient traditions guarded with such care and ferocity. This may sound provocative, even implausible to some, but the skepticism itself is but a symptom of our age. We live in a culture that prizes only accepted mechanisms and dismisses anything abstract or new that falls outside the narrow boundaries of the approved or the familiar. Recognizing this instinctive doubt is part of the awakening process. It marks the edge of what we have been taught to believe is possible. Across thousands of years, hand signs have accompanied humanity's deepest rituals, initiations, and spiritual practices. They served as encoded teachings, mnemonic devices, protective seals, and energetic tools long before modern science began exploring the workings of the nervous system. Even today, they appear in meditation techniques, energy work routines, martial arts, religious blessings, and everyday gestures that carry emotional or cultural meaning. The hand has always been treated as both expressive and functional, a connecting bridge between our inner intention and our external actions. In the Vedic teachings, the mudrā, literally meaning seal or mark, was always understood as a functional instrument, not a mere religious ornament or passive symbol. They were deliberate configurations of the hand used to calm the mind, direct awareness, and concentrate the practitioner's increased energy. Classical texts describe them as locks that stabilise the mental, psychic field, channel the subtle creative force, and protect the adherent during exercises in meditation and concentration. In the internal arts of Tai Chi and Qi Gong, similar hand shapes help guide intention, movement, and the circulation of Qi. Practitioners use them to move the creative force around the head, along the spine and extremities, and out into the electromagnetic field that surrounds the body. These gestures are not only symbols of the universal power, they are functional, anatomical, and energetic implements for its very cultivation and enhancement within the nervous system. And this very same principle appears in subtle Western esoteric traditions too. Here, the Kohanim priesthood used the Shin or fire hand sign during the ancient Hebrew blessing. Shin is the 21st letter of the Hebrew alphabet and has long been associated with fire in Kabbalistic teachings, making the gesture's symbolism and function align perfectly, as we shall see shortly. In popular culture, the modern Vulcan salute from Star Trek is a direct adaptation of this ancient priestly gesture. However, beneath the sci-fi veneer lies a coded reflection of the energetic principles of inner fire, calm discipline, clarity of mind, and the mastery of the sacred forces. The very structure of the Shin hand sign naturally forms a tripod, allowing for stable, sustained pressure on key energetic points. the Shin sign has two primary forms. The three-pronged version, where the index and middle fingers pair together, the ring and little fingers pair together, and the thumb extends outward as the third flame, or Yod, the 10th letter of the Hebrew Kabbalistic alphabet. And the four-pronged, even more esoteric version, the triad claw, with symmetrical splits between the fingers and the central digits fused. Symbolically, these prongs represent flames, treasures, or channels. Physiologically, they create sustainable leverage and anatomical precision for acupressure to vital energy centers on the body. Many Renaissance and Enlightenment portraits quietly display this more esoteric gesture. Monarchs, architects, theologians, scientists, and explorers all forming the distinctive configuration of the fingers, as though participating in some ancient shared lineage of hidden knowledge. Across Europe's galleries and archives, the pattern repeats with a head-scratching consistency. Royalty, nobility, and people of renown, figures separated by faith, tradition, and homeland, are all depicted forming the same deliberate gesture. Queen Elizabeth I, Sir Christopher Wren, Sir Isaac Newton, prominent Jesuits, members of the Medici and Habsburg dynasties, and celebrated adventurers each appear with this precise sign of light and life. Traditionally, the four-pronged shin has been interpreted as a sign of integrity, devotion, or noble intent, a gesture of truthfulness, authority, or allegiance in Renaissance and Baroque artwork. But beneath this public explanation lies the very same esoteric thread found throughout the ancient world. In its mystical sense, the shin embodies the sacred light bound within matter, the inner fire, the subtle animating force, the Qi, prana, anima, or awen that moves through all living beings. And when formed with deliberate physiological intention, this configuration does far more than just signify the inner flame. It can help awaken it, directing that fire, that rising light, toward the inner temple at the head center. Used correctly, the Shin sign grants access to the perineum, the Hui Yin of the Taoists, or Guddha Mama point of the Vedic tradition, where the Muladhara chakra initiates the rise of the Kundalini serpent. It opens the navel hub and lower abdomen, the Dantien of the Far East, the Nabhi point of the Hindus, or the Hara of Japanese energy work. It releases the psoas muscle, which is so critical to the work. Opens the shoulders, reinvigorates the lower neck, and alleviates tension at the base of the skull. Through sustained pressure, this gesture helps to awaken and release the bioelectrical fire trapped within the body's most tense and stress-laden areas. Thus, it is both symbol and mechanism, an emblem of the inner flame and an anatomical tool for kindling and brightening its healing glow. The great master Michelangelo encoded this gesture repeatedly. In the Pieta, in Moses, in David, and most famously in the creation of Adam, where both Adam and God form variations of the Shin sign surrounded by anatomical symbolism that points directly to energy work, acupressure, and the awakening of the higher centers. For more on this, please see my video, Michelangelo's Kundalini Awakening. And a simple variation of the fire sign becomes the world-renowned horns hand gesture, known traditionally as the Karana Mudra. Just curl the central prong inward, leaving the index and little fingers upright, and the horns are formed. Symbolically, this often villainized mark evokes the stag, the ram, even the boar. It represents the raw potency of nature, the rising electromagnetic force, and the growth of our protective, energetic horns. Anatomically, it is revolutionary. In creative energy practice, the horns hand posture, like the Shin sign, becomes a powerful tool for leveraging the hips at the pubic symphysis, encouraging the sacrum to tuck inwards and the hips to open. This gesture provides essential leverage, pressure at the perineum, access to the conserved life force, and a means of awakening the dormant fire at the base of the torso. It is a tool for raising the creative fire along the spine into the head, symbolically growing the antlers of the stag or the horns of the ram. Other ancient gestures reveal similar potential. The sword fingers, hand of God, or hand of justice, where the index and middle fingers are extended, appear in Christian iconography and in Qi Gong lineages alike. Physiologically, they offer a precise, uniform point of pressure, ideal for stimulating areas along the legs, ribs, shoulders, neck, jaw and temples. In Christian art, this gesture signifies teaching and transmission. In Qi Gong, it directs and focuses the enhanced creative force. The fig sign and thumbs up variations serve as symbolic protective wards, but also provide grip and pressure between the metatarsals, intercostals, and elsewhere. The extended index knuckle, seen in the painting of Adam and the statue of Mithras, delivers focused force to the fleshy areas and to the sutures and base of the skull. Even the hang loose or hang in there sign appears in Egyptian reliefs and can be used to decompress the shoulders, neck, and, most importantly, the fourth ventricle nestled between the brainstem and the overhanging dome of the cerebellum. For the open-minded and curious, these are not cultural quirks. They are keys to the energetic architecture of the human body. Every tradition speaks of circulating the conserved creative force and opening the inner eye at the head centre. It is the prana, amrita, and bindu visaga in the Vedic world, the chi, microcosmic orbit, and kan lu, or sweet dew in Taoism, the Shin fire Kohanim blessing, and the manna from heaven in Hebrew tradition, the Christ oil and halo in Christian mysticism, the Grail waters and the sacred sword Excalibur, or the spinal column and cerebrospinal fluid in Arthurian lore, and the ambrosia and nectar of the Greek gods. All point to the same phenomena, the awakening of the human nervous system to its true potential and the release of the sacred fluid from the head centre, the inner chamber of the temple of man. This is the heart of the ancient teachings. When the conserved creative force rises through the central channel and reaches the head, it heightens our energy, our bioelectromagnetic field. It vivifies our internal waters, our cerebrospinal fluid and interstitial fluids, and becomes Amrita, Kanlu, Manna, Christ oil, Grail water, or ambrosia. This is the Great Awakening, the ignition of the inner fire, the illumination of the human nervous system, and the miracle birth of higher perception. Before we close, I want to mention that everything explored in this video is only a glimpse of what is covered in far greater depth in The Anatomical Alchemist, Weapons of the Gods. Its full chapter on hand signs goes much deeper into the anatomical detail, the energetic mechanisms, and the hidden symbolism found across our shared world traditions. If you'd like to study these practices directly, you can find all my books, acupressure tools, and Vajra implements in my online shop. You can also find the full series on my Amazon pages if you prefer that route. Every purchase supports my work and helps me continue producing these teachings, demonstrations, and the explorations into the ancient sciences of human awakening. Links are in the description to this video. So, the hands are not just incredibly sophisticated appendages to help us interact with the world around us. They are instruments of awakening, keys to the illumination of the hidden inner architecture of the body, the human temple. Through them, we can access critical pressure points, awaken dormant energy channels, stabilise and deepen the breath, and circulate the sacred, conserved creative force. These practices are not the domain of secret societies or ancient adepts alone. Not anymore. They are the birthright of every human being, and always have been. Please remember, the nervous system is the gateway. The creative force is the fuel. The hands are the tools. When we learn to use them with intention, discipline, patience, and clarity, we begin to reclaim the capacities our ancestors spoke of. Subtle psychic sensitivities, heightened perception and inner vision, emotional self-mastery, and the luminous, energetic potential of the awakened human being. This is the revolution of the inner fire, where we learn how to see beyond the veil.